Hey guys, welcome to my misguided package. Thanks, Mom! Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm back at it with another favourites video, and today I'm talking you through my favourite loose powders, because this is just one of them products which can genuinely make or break your entire base. It's one of them ones where you don't want to really invest your money in a new powder unless you're sure that it works. You know them ones. I have recently been on a bit of a powder binge. That doesn't sound right. Before, I used to literally just stick to my Laura Mercier translucent powder. Like, that was just always my ride or die. And then I started to kind of branch out and tried a few others, and they all have like their pros and cons. So I am basically going to show you the ones that I've tried and reasons why I love them. So if you're interested, then go ahead and keep watching. Okay, so we're going to kick it off with the OG, as I mentioned, Laura Mercier. This is the translucent powder. By the way, like, all my powders are like out and open because I use them like all the time. So I've put them all in the lid, so I didn't want to like put it back and then cut. So basically you're gonna get stuff like this. This is what you're gonna see. Oh, sorry about that. Should probably put my phone on silent. Yeah, so you're gonna see them like, you know, a bit grubby, but they're just well loved. What can I say? The Laura Mercier translucent powder is the OG. You probably have heard so many people talk about it, so I'm not going to bore you with too many details, but this is just really, really good. Simply put, it is so good and so effective, and you can never go wrong with Laura Mercier. I'm not gonna lie, I have heard some people say some mixed reviews on this, which has always baffled me, always. A lot of people have said, I've just remembered another powder which I don't have out, which I need to talk to you about. Like, I have always said this is the only powder I will use on my face. Like, I love it, it can't get any better. But I've had so many people say like, oh no, like it really dries out my skin, like it exaggerates any of my fine lines because it dries out my skin and stuff like that. And I have dry skin and I have never really had that experience with this powder. So I was just like, rah, like that's a bit mad that people have that experience. And I didn't really feel the need to switch it up, so I didn't really venture out. And then I tried the TooFaced translucent powder. That's the one that I don't have here right now, so I'm going to insert a little picture over here. The TooFaced translucent powder. Loads of people draw comparisons between that and Laura Mercier, and I will agree, they are so similar. They are very similar in good ways. In the best ways possible, they are very similar. But the TooFaced powder is a little bit thinner, which actually is a good thing. So when I went to Tenerife this January, when I came back, you know when you go abroad and then you come back and like the weather change, it kind of like messes around your skin type, right? You can either go like really, really oily or really dry, or just everything kind of switches up a little bit and you need to readjust. So when I came back, my skin was screaming. It was so dry. I hadn't had like this much of a dry skin episode in a while. So whenever I was wearing my makeup, I just did not like the way my base was looking. It looked really, really dry and like cakey up close. And I was like, no, this can't be it. So that's when I started trying to look for other powders to sort of try out, because Laura Mercier for once was letting me down. That's when I tried the TooFaced one, and it actually worked really, really well. I think in the past, when I didn't find Laura Mercier too drying, I was like, yeah, the TooFaced one is fine, but like, I'm still gonna stick to my Laura Mercier. Like, I was a bit skeptical, but then that one was thinner, so it sat a lot lighter on my skin, so it didn't actually dry me out as much as Laura Mercier. And then that's what made me realize, like, rah, I didn't expect this. Like, I really did not see this coming. So like, maybe there are other powders which could do my skin a solid, because from when I first ever invested in a translucent loose powder, it was always Laura Mercier. So I never really tried anything else. But there was no, like, why fix something that's not broken, right? But if you do feel like Laura Mercier kind of dries out your skin a little bit, or it feels a little bit heavy on your skin, try out the Too Faced one, because it's a very similar formula but a little bit lighter on the skin. Also, to clarify, none of those come up kind of like whitish or like ashy on Asian skin tone either, because I know, like, you know, there's some which they say it's translucent, but really it leaves like a white cast, and you're just like, rah, like I can't bake with this or anything because it's just going to make me look like Casper. So those ones I've not had a problem with at all in that way. The only powder that I have tried which has kind of done that for me has been the RCMA no color powder. I will insert a little pic here. You probably have seen it before. I have used it in the past, and I did say that I liked it, and then the more I used it I realized it was too bright. It was white bright, do you know what I mean? Not even like a yellow nice bright. It was like harsh bright, you know? So I stopped using that, and I've not touched it since I discovered that. So next powder that I'm going to talk to you about is the Becca Hydro Mist powder, which is this one over here. I have had quite a journey with my relationship with this powder. So it's actually really interesting because it's 50% water. That powder, it's actually really mad. Like, the science behind it is sick. It's 50% water, so the idea of it is that it's supposed to be very hydrating for your skin and it doesn't dry you out, blah blah blah. It's really cool when you feel it. Like, if you literally feel the powder, it feels like cold. Like, it feels really cool to touch. It's really cool. It's kind of weird. Like, bit of a weird like sensation, if you feel me. So I had really high hopes for that powder. I had used it on clients before and it always looked really good on them, but I'd never used it on myself. I'd never tried it out. And then I got it for myself and I tried it and I was so hyped, and I was kind of disappointed. I was like, it looks a little bit drier. I was like, is this just me, or does my under eyes look drier than when I've used even Laura Mercier? I was like, why does it look dry? The formula is so thin. It is very thin. It doesn't feel heavy, but it looked kind of dry, like it had taken the moisture out from under my eyes. And I was like, this is a bit mad. Stopped using it. After a while, I was like, let me try this again. I was like, why not? Let's just give it a shot. And I loved it. And I was like, what changed? Like, literally, what changed? So the things I've learned about it is, if you want your face to not like be like a full beat kind of look, if you want your under eyes not to be brightened, if you just want that kind of more everyday skin, like just kind of blends into your skin, melts into your skin kind of shade, I love that powder. I noticed that even when I used really bright concealers, when I set it with that powder, it would tame it all completely down and it would blend in better with like my actual skin tone. Does that make sense? It didn't highlight the brightness that was under my eyes. And then when I saw what it looked like, I was like, I'm kind of vibing with a not bright under eye. Like, I kind of am liking the way this is looking. And then I went through a phase where I just used that every day because I really liked the way it just tamed down my under eyes. The undertone that it gave, I just really liked it. And then I didn't really find it that drying. I feel like I learned not to use as much of it. You can still bake with it, etc. I wouldn't really recommend baking with it because it's not really something that you would want to brighten with. But if you just want to set it, you can lightly go in with a damp sponge if you want to just set it like really well if you get oily. But it actually didn't look drying on my under eyes. You just have to adapt the way that you use that powder. You can still use a sponge, you can still push it into your skin, but I would just say don't like leave a heavy amount of it. And if you don't do that, it actually sits really nicely. And I feel like it's one of them products where you either love it or you hate it. So I definitely recommend going into store and kind of trying it out before you kind of purchase it, because it is Becca, so it is a little bit more on the high end side. But I really like it, I can't lie. Okay, the next one I would say is probably my current favorite. I'm obsessed with this powder. It is, let me hold it up for a dramatic reveal. It is the Bakerie, what's it called? Flower setting powder. Guys, Guys, I had never used let's try that again. I had never used Beauty Bakerie products before. I had heard really good things, but like it's not really that accessible. Like you don't really go into a shop and see Beauty Bakerie here in the UK, so like you have to kind of go out of your way to try something from there. Anyways, Naz, you lot know Naz, yeah? She was like, I think you're really gonna like this powder. So I was like, all right, cool. I really like this powder. It's so like satiny, like the way that it sits on your skin when you use it, it just is kind of like that velvety smooth sort of texture. I've baked with it and I'm calm. You lot know my technique of baking isn't putting a load of powder. If you haven't seen it already, check it out. It's on like bare views. It's my most viewed video, how to bake even if you have dry skin, how to finesse it so that you can still bake. Quick plug. And it's not looked dry, it's just really smoothed any area that I apply it on. And now, since I've got that powder, I've not used Laura Mercier, I've not used the TooFaced one. The only one I have used is the Becca one. If ever I've wanted to make my under eyes kind of blend in, you know, like I said, not go for like a brightening look, but if I want it to literally just be translucent and just set it, that's my go-to, and I really, really like it. It's unbelievably fine. It's so it's you'll feel it and be like, what? Like, this is really, really fine. Okay, and finally the last powder I'm going to talk to you about is the Nabla powder. You lot saw it in one of my first impressions. What's it called? Nabla Close Up Baking and Setting Powder. So mixed thoughts on this one. If you use it sparingly, 10/10, it's really, really nice. And it's a lot more affordable. It's only like £17, I think, from Beauty Bay. It sets really nice. It's got that nice satin under eye finish. It's quite similar to the Beauty Bakerie one when you use it selectively. Like when you go overboard with that powder, sis, it's not cute. It's really not cute. I tried baking with it once, yeah, and I don't really normally bake like that, but I basically was doing a video and I was filming like one of those mini, like a TikTok thing or something, and I was trying to film the shot with me with the powder on. So I put the powder on, but it took me a while to kind of film that section, so it was on a lot longer than I would normally have it on, but still, that's kind of, I would say, the average amount of time that normal people that bake and leave powder on do leave it for. I just don't do it like that normally. And when I brushed it off, I looked like I had aged about 50 years. No cap. No cap. It was horrific. It had shriveled. I felt like a raisin out here. It shriveled my skin. I was like, what did I just do to my skin? It looked so bad. I wasn't even going anywhere. I was just filming like a couple of videos, and I was like, even from that distance, I can't. I had to take off my makeup and redo it because I left it on for too long. Do not bake with that powder, I repeat. However, it is on the more affordable side, and if you want the Beauty Bakerie one but it's sold out or whatever, because it is kind of hard to get hold of sometimes, you can use that one. Just don't go overboard. Don't leave it on for too long, and then you'll love it. You'll really like it. Okay, so that's basically all the powders. How many did I talk to you about? One. Oh, that's not, sorry, one more. My bad. Okay, the next one is a little bit different. This is the only one that is coloured powder. I don't really vibe with coloured powders. They're not really my style, to be honest. I always stick to translucent, but the only time I do a coloured one is if I want to do like a banana shade to brighten and really get that like yellow bright snatched under eye. Like if I'm going for that kind of look, that's when this comes out. And this is the Revolution Luxury Powder Banana. Luxury banana powder. You lot have probably heard about this because when it first came out, I'm pretty sure it was like the craze. Like everyone was chatting about this powder, like raw, it's so good. It's a dupe for the Ben Nye banana powder, I'm not gonna lie. I do have the Ben Nye banana powder, but it's very heavy. It's very, very heavy. I mean, Ben Nye is actually for stage makeup as it is. It's not really intended for everyday use, so it makes sense because it is very heavy. But the Makeup Revolution one is so much nicer because it's got the same positives as the Ben Nye one, but it's just so much lighter and more wearable on the skin. You don't need to spend like a pretty penny. Like, this really does do the trick. But I still don't like too much of a rich yellow under eye, because like my concealer is normally quite yellow as it is, and I don't like it to look too artificial. So what I like to do sometimes is I mix it in with one of my translucent powders, whether it's Laura Mercier, Beauty Bakerie, whatever. If I want to just add a little extra oomph and a little extra like brightening, a little extra, if I just want to make it more brightening, I just mix a little bit of that in, and it just gives you like a little bit more of like a lift to your face if you want that bright look. But in terms of it as like a powder straight, I personally wouldn't really use it to like as the only powder on my under eyes, but that's also because it's just not really my preference. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with doing it like that. I just always have to set with a translucent powder. I can't, the idea of just using like a yellow toned powder now, it doesn't sit right with me, so it's just not my vibe. But if that's what you normally do, then try this one out, because you'll probably love it. They're basically all the products that I wanted to speak to you about. I really hope that you gained a little something here. I know that powders are a bit of a tricky one, and sometimes you just need to take the plunge, so it helps to kind of have someone tell you like, oh sis, I tried this and it's a banger, or don't do it like this. So I really hope that this was useful, and if it was, please let me know. I'd love to know. And if you guys try it, let me know how you find them as well, any of the ones that I've mentioned. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what other favorites you want to see. I've done like nude lip, I've done foundations, powders, bronzers, so let me know what other like products you want to see for this kind of range. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much. Stay safe, stay positive, stay creative. I love you all, and I will see you next time. Mwah. Bye guys.